Okay, so
Did it go live?
yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's We Are One Self-Help Meditation. My name is Terry Matthews. I work here at the Scottsdale Jin Shin Jyutsu office, and it's my pleasure today to welcome Sara Harper, who's going to lead the self-help meditation today. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you, Terry. Glad to be here. And let's all start with a big hug. Drop our shoulders. Exhaling all the way, letting go. Let yourself drop in with your breath. Mary used to say, we breathe and exhale for the whole planet. So let yourself exhale. Let it go all the way out. Wrap that breath. Receiving, inhaling all the way up the back. So today I would like to play with and do a spleen flow together.
Sara, can you adjust your sound? They're not hearing you.
I cannot. Let's see. Hello?
Yeah,
Terry?
I can hear you. I can hear you okay, but can you adjust your mic? There seems to be some echo, some distortion.
Let's see if I can add a wire. I don't know if I can do it with this or not.
Yeah, this could be an internet bandwidth issue as well, because some people are also saying they can hear you fine.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you completely fine.
Can you turn on the chat?
Can everyone hear okay? Yeah, the chat's on. Can everyone hear okay?
Oh. My ear is too small.
I think it's much better. Good.
Okay. I can't, I don't know if I can keep it in my ear. It's kind of small or too big. So let's see how this works. And what I started off with was exhale, drop our shoulders, connect with our breath. Let us focus on the exhaling, receiving. And today I wanted to focus with the spleen flow. The spleen flow is one of our immune helpers, one of our mighty boundaries to protecting ourselves. And here we've had so much time to isolate. And one of the attitudes for the spleen is worry. It would help cover our daily worries and our worries of survival. And so the spleen flow, let's go to the slideshow, Terry, and we'll look at the spleen flow today. So it's in your self-help book 1 on page 39. If you want to follow along in your book, I'll be demonstrating the flow. We're going to take our left hand and put it underneath the coccyx. The right hand, let's go to the next slide, will go to the inside of the ankle. And if you can't reach the inside ankle, you can use the 1 or the 15 as it shows in the self-help books. But let's just hold that coccyx and the 5. Exhale, drop your shoulders. We're going to do our spleen flow. So you've got one hand on the coccyx, your left hand's on the coccyx, your right hand is going to the 5 on the inside of your ankle. If you cannot reach this, you can hold the bend of the knee, the 1. I usually do this one lying down and I bend my knees up so that I can hold the 5. So the coccyx, it's the key energy for the body. And 5 is regeneration of man, how we energize and regenerate in the body. The spleen is a toe flow, which helps us to sustain life in the body. It's our immune helper. Good for the immune system. It's energy revitalizing flow. Mary very often referred to it like the solar energy battery, or like giving the whole body a warm bath. Exhale, drop your shoulders while holding the coccyx and the inside ankle. Spleen flow also helps us with rhythm, transportation, and transmitting all the fluids throughout the body to the organs. This flow helps all the other organs do their job. Then we're going to move from the inner ankle to the 14. Let's show the picture of that on the slide, Terry, and the 14 is just below the ribs. And I've got it here in the self-help books on page 40. And it's got the right hand then is moving to just underneath the left rib. How equilibrium, sustenance, maintenance of the body. How we sustain and maintain equilibrium in our body by holding the 14. And again, the left hand is on the coccyx, sitting on the tailbone. And the right hand is at the 14, just below the rib cage. How we sustain and maintain in the body. Again, exhaling. See if you can feel your breath from the inside out and the outside in as you hold here at the coccyx and at the 14. Feel the movement of your rib cage. Feel the movement of your diaphragm as you're holding. See if you can feel your tailbone as you inhale and exhale. Feel the movement of the breath from the inside out and the outside in. Spleen flow is part of our first depth, all about feeling, boundaries, our container. The element is earth. And then the hand that's on the coccyx, so your left hand then is going to move to the 13, about the third rib on the chest. We're going to move to 13, and it's safety energy lock 13 is the number of the creator. It's our source of creativity. The words are for it, love thy enemy. One time I looked up the word enemy in the dictionary, and it says boredom is the great enemy of happiness. And very often when I travel, when I fly, when I'm on a plane, even in a class, very often I'll hold these two steps of the spleen flow as a self-help, as a quickie. For me, it's a very comforting, loving hold. We're just holding this 14 below the ribs, sustaining, maintaining, and our 13, the number of the creator, our source of creativity. Helps our immune system. Again, track and follow yourself, follow your breath. Helps all the white blood cells of the body. The tonsils, the spleen are all part of the lymph system, which helps us with our immunity, our white blood cells. Normally, our skin surface is our container, our boundary to protect us against bacteria and virus. If it enters the body, then the spleen, the tonsils and the spleen take over to help our lymph system. And then the last step is to come to the left hand goes to the left 22, just below this clavicle bone. And you're gonna just hold and palm that area. Very often, Mary would have me put my thumb underneath the armpit at the same time when holding a 22. We call this Safety Energy Lock 22 for those of you who are not practitioners. And 22 means complete. It's like our railway station. All the flows go through the 22. It means complete. It's another symbol for the breath, the alpha, the omega, down the front and up the back. And again, check in as you exhale and inhale. Feel this from the inside out and the outside in as you breathe. Mary used to always tell me, focus on the exhaling, the letting go. The receiving of that breath of life will happen without effort when we really let go. Rudolf Steiner used to call the spleen our mighty protector. The spleen is the training center for our immune cells. What a better time to really utilize this flow. And in the self-help books, Mary referred to this as a general daily sequence. One time I asked her when I was going to have a session, out of all the 12 organ flows, you could have chosen any 3 flows, but you chose to put in spleen, stomach, and bladder in the self-help books. She had me get up off the table and she walked me over to her bookshelf. She pulled out the self-help books and she opened up to that page 39 in the self-help book 1. And it says so right here, general daily sequence. Good for harmonizing anything that you need in a day. So we start with our spleen flow. So she has spleen, stomach, and bladder. Again, exhaling, dropping your shoulders. I did the spleen flow last night over and over again, just so that I could really resonate today. I use this flow all the time in my practice. And as my main self-help for it, I usually hold just like this, the 13 and 14, or that third front rib area, and just below the ribs here. It's such a comforting way to feel the spleen flow. Let's do it on the other side. Let's take a moment to be with each other and do the other side of the spleen flow, like Mary has in the self-help books. So now we're going to take the right hand, it's going to go on the coccyx, and the left hand will come and go to the inner ankle. If you cannot reach, no problem. Hold the inside of the knee. If you can reach, just gently slide your hand down to that inner ankle. Again, exhaling, dropping your shoulders. Connect with your breath. See if you can feel your skin surface softening, relaxing as you hold the coccyx, the tailbone, with the inside ankle. The coccyx, the tailbone, regeneration, our key energy for the body, and the inside ankle, regeneration of man. So key energy and regeneration. Exhale, drop your shoulders. And then we're going to move our hand that was on the ankle to the other side. The left hand goes to the right 14. So your left hand is going to go to your right 14, just below the ribs. You're going to palm and hold that area. See if you can feel the warmth from your hand as it touches that area. Again, connecting with breath, exhaling, dropping the shoulders. Let yourself soften in your tissue. And then your hand that's on the coccyx is going to move to the 13, about that third rib. Again, this is one of my favorite quickies for the flow. There's other ones, which we'll go over. But this is the one I use the most. And if I'm on a plane, very often I will put my 5 on my coccyx. I'll hold here, and then go here, as doing the whole spleen flow while I'm sitting on a plane. So I can put my 5 on my tailbone, hold the 14, 13, and 22. So this is a very gentle, very wonderful flow that you can utilize. Helps revitalize all the body energy. The spleen helps all the other organs so they can do their job. I love how Mary used to say it's like bringing in the light of the sun, Helps the whole nervous system. Helps with anyone who's depressed, sad, grieving. So this is going to be a great flow to uplift the mood. The element is Earth. The planet is Saturn. And Saturn is all about boundaries. And right now we have a lot of boundaries. It helps with all of our daily worries, helps with all of our worries about survival. This is a very wonderful, comforting flow that we can utilize with breath. Again, dropping your shoulders, exhale all the way, let it go. Receiving, inhaling up the back. And then your right hand, then is going to go to the 22 on the right side. Again, I usually tuck my thumb underneath the armpit while holding this flow, and I get below the clavicle bone and clear that area. Sometimes Mary used to even get up above that, but usually on myself, I hold just below that clavicle bone when doing a spleen flow. Again, exhaling all the way out, dropping the shoulders. In those self-help books, Mary doesn't label it as the spleen flow. She labels it as the general energy revitalizing flow. So general energy revitalizing flow helps us to revitalize our whole body, our whole energy. And sometimes in class, Mary would say, this flow is really good if you're having trouble sleeping. Sometimes you need the energy to sleep. If you're going over the same thing over and over like a hamster on a wheel, then you might want to use a stomach flow. However, if it's just angst and shaky fatigue or nervous system, you can be helped by the spleen flow. Again. And again, if you only had 2 places you could hold as a quickie, they could be one hand over the chest and one hand over the abdomen. Drop your shoulders, exhale. Very, very comforting. You can also hold your thumb. We have on a depth level, this would be stomach and spleen. So you can hold the thumb while you exhale and inhale. You can also hold your little finger. When you look at, for those of you who are knowing practitioners, when you look at your page 38 in textbook, you'll see the relationship to the thoracic vertebra, 11, is spleen, and it's assisted with the little finger. So you can hold the little fingers. If you don't have time for the whole spleen flow, you can utilize the little finger. Mary used to also say you can hold the 19. We refer to the spleen flow like our solar energy battery, and the planet that represents the 19 is the sun. I used to love how Mary would say, let your light shine. This is our natural authority and leadership. I always jokingly say it's like I dream a genie. She held here and blinked when she wanted to change something. Here's our natural authority and leadership. This is another flow another way that you can hold And it's a quickie for the spleen flow. And or you can hold just the 14s. And it's separated this way or crossed hands and holding this way. There's another one that you can utilize for the spleen flow. Again, my favorite, and the one I tend to use the most, is holding this hand on the 13, this hand on the 14. It's so very comforting for me. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Be the breath I am. All right, I think that's all I have for today. I filled in some slides that have all this information that I spoke about. If you want to take a look afterward, you can. Terry, you have anything to add?
I was away with the fairies, to be honest. That spleen flow is very centering and very containing. And I felt completely comforted, completely contained, just like you mentioned about one of the spleen's roles, keeping the energy and the matter in place in the body, transforming it. I just felt at this particular position just so contained, and that's so appropriate for the healthy boundaries that we're keeping these days with the coronavirus. So thank you. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Thanks for your support. And I appreciate you being there at the office. I'm so very grateful.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who are joining in and participating in the webinars. It's such a gift to be able to share with you all and be in such a lovely way with breath and touch. Thank you.
Yeah, and just finally to remind everybody, the replay will be available on our YouTube, which is youtube.com Jin Shin Jyutsu /official, probably within an hour. So thank you again, Sarah. Thank you for everyone, wherever you are in the world, for attending today. And we look forward to tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.